Cheers. So like loads of other people, this year's holiday is all about the staycation. But living here in Wales, there's one place I've barely explored, and that's mid-Wales. So let's go on a road trip. Today's scenic drive takes me through the market town of Llandailo in the heart of Carmarthenshire's Nant y Valley, and some 2 hours on to today's first stop, Devil's Bridge Falls. People have been coming here since way back in the 18th century, and normally the nature trail, waterfalls and 3 bridges would be visible from below, but due to the current restrictions, it was closed during my visit. However, from the bridge, you can still see down to the 100 steps and Jacob's Ladder and the water below. These 3 bridges were built one on top of the other throughout history, and as far as I know, there aren't any other bridges built like this anywhere in the world. Next up, our journey continues through the amazing Welsh landscape with picturesque views over Aberystwyth. Having parked on the seafront at North Beach, you quickly find yourself at the focal point of town and its dark sand and shingle, along with its Victorian and Edwardian style architecture. At the quieter northern end of the promenade is the gateway to views of North Wales, including the peaks of the Llŷn Peninsula and Snowdonia. But first, there's a climb up the side of the cliff. Now, I just love to come to Aberystwyth. In fact, growing up, I spent most of my childhood in nearby Llangurig, and I even worked nearby for some time on a local radio station. But one thing I've never done in all that time is climb Constitution Hill. And even though there's a cliff railway, today I'm on foot, the weather's gorgeous, and with views like that, well, why wouldn't you? Now, Aberystwyth means the mouth of the River Astwith and is commonly known here in Wales simply as Aber. It sits smack bang in the middle of this rugged Ceredigion coastline, making it the perfect short break destination. So a short drive up the road from Aberystwyth is Borth, and stretching between Borth and Ynys Las is a very special beach. So let's go check it out. If you want an awe-inspiring sight and a very real reminder of the thousands of years of ancient history underneath our very feet, then this is the place to come. So back in 2014, storms revealed this Bronze Age forest, once buried beneath the sand, and these oak trees are 6,000 years old. This unique landscape also comes with its own myths and stories. So these ancient remains are said to be part of a tale called Cantref, and they suggest there's a hidden kingdom below the waters of Cardigan Bay. It's thought to have been first mentioned in the 750-year-old Black Book of Carmarthen, written way back in 1250. And just recently, a 4,000-year-old red deer skull and antlers were found on the very beach. Our third stop today takes us 12 miles southeast of Aberystwyth to an area of woodland which was originally owned by Thomas Jones. He devoted his entire life to improving the landscape surrounding the nearby Eglwys Newydd Church. So, welcome to the Hafod Estate. Now, it lies in the Astwith Valley and not far from Devil's Bridge. And originally, it was an 18th century mansion, but that's long since disappeared. Instead, it's now a series of walking trails. There are 5 different walking trails of different lengths and difficulty, which are waymarked from the main car park. The estate is open to walkers all year round, and access and parking is free of charge. Now, if I was to recommend just one trail, I'd choose this one, the Astwith Gorge Walk. Pretty impressive. The river is crossed on a chain bridge, a narrow suspension bridge restored on its historical site. Heading just a few minutes up the road are the remains of the Cwmystwyth metal mines. So Cwmystwyth is considered the most important non-ferrous mining site in Wales. Within the site is evidence for all phases of mining activity, from the Bronze Age through to the medieval period and on to its revival in the 18th century and the peak of activity before its final decline from the 19th century. It's here that even the Romans mined silver, lead and zinc, and it suggested the average life expectancy was just 32, largely due to acute lead poisoning. These days, the Cambrian Mines Trust look after the site with the aim of preserving its mining heritage. Well, that's enough exploring for one day. Let's go check out where we're going to stay this weekend. Off we go. We're staying in a lodge in the village of Llangurig, some 25 miles from Borth Wells and just over 10 minutes from Rhyadr. Hey guys, welcome along to my vlog on Mid Wales. Now, like many this year, our holidays are going to be completely different. It's all about the staycation. So when the guys at Felinfawr Lodges near Llangurig got in touch and said, Jay, come and check out our lodge, I jumped at the chance. So thanks guys for the invite. And just to give you a quick kind of tour really of the lodge. This is Hazel Lodge, massive big spacious kitchen. So if you want to make some breakfast, cook an evening meal, going to check on some salmon in just a bit. By the way, speaking of which, if you love your fishing, 100 yards that way is the Wye River, and you can get a license to do some fishing there as well. So picturesque, and by the way, hot tub on the decking. How cool is that? Going to check that out later. But also massive living space. I mean, look behind, you've got two big sofas, you've got a telly, huge room for the family, so nice big open plan living space. And at the back, you've got two bedrooms. So first of all, you've got the big spacious double, so nice big double bed, nice big spacious walk-in sort of shower in the ensuite. And if you've got kids or you're coming as a bunch of friends, I think it sleeps quite a few, then you've got two singles in that room, plus you've got the bathroom there as well. So this weekend, I'm going to check out this lodge and get out exploring the best parts of Mid Wales. Woo! Woo! So it's day 2, and after a quick breakfast and some fresh coffee, today we're heading to the Elan Valley. A short drive up the A470 brings you to the visitor centre car park and on to one of Wales' most picturesque spots. The valley and its epic feat of civil engineering offers a brilliant escape from the hustle and bustle of modern day life, and just as well as you'll find it difficult to get a mobile phone signal. The reservoirs sit within 70 square miles of rugged Welsh countryside and are a chain of man-made lakes. All the dams are accessible on foot, by bike or by car, and the lowest of the dams in the sequence is the simplest and the most functional in appearance of all the dams. Work started in 1893 by damming the Elan and the Caerwen River, and some 50,000 men worked on the project in 2 phases. That meant 100 occupants had to move out, and only landowners received any compensation. So what you get when you combine the perfect landscape and wildlife with the very best in Victorian engineering? Well, of course, the Elan Valley. And today I'm checking out the first dam, Caban Gorge, which holds up to 8 billion gallons of water. Well, 5 dams and reservoirs were originally built to supply water to Birmingham, and now they remain a vital water source to millions. Many buildings had to be demolished, including 3 manor houses, 18 farms and a school and a church, and the original road to the neighbouring valley lies beneath the water to this day. So one thing that's great about staying in the countryside is when local farmers use an honesty box to sell fresh produce, and it doesn't get much fresher than these. It even had its own railway line, which was constructed to transport the workers and thousands of tons of building materials to the site each day. Most workers lived in a village of wooden huts, and new workers would have to spend a night in the doss house to be deloused and examined for infectious diseases. The village even employed a guard to look out for illegal importation of liquor and unauthorised visitors, and there was a hospital, a school and a bathhouse which men could use up to 3 times a week, but women just once. There was a pub only for men, and other facilities included a library, public hall, a shop and a canteen, and there was even street lighting powered by a hydroelectric generator. The height of the dams also means that gravity alone still carries the water all the way to Birmingham. Well, 1 minute it's a bright sunny day in mid-April, the lambs in the fields are singing, and the next there's heavy snow an hour later. And that's the reason to pack for every eventuality. The valley also played its part in the 2 world wars, and there are still plenty of clues if you know exactly where to look. So I've come 2 miles off the beaten track here in the Elan Valley to this hidden beauty spot, the Nant y Gro Dam. And if it doesn't look like much of a dam to you, that's because this spot played a key role in the World War II Dambusters raid. That there is where Barnes Wallis tried out the bouncing bomb. He calculated the explosive power required to breach the German dams and realised no existing bomber could carry a large enough bomb. So it's here in July 1942 Barnes carried out 2 experiments, and just months later a group of Lancaster bombers were on their way to the industrial heartland of Germany, and of course that was immortalised in the film The Dambusters. The prototype charge was proof tested here at a small dam in the Elan Valley, where 280 pounds of high explosive destroyed the central portion of the masonry. It was hailed a complete success, and the sobering remains of the dam now lie scattered across the landscape. Now there is also a 6th unfinished dam called Dol y Mynach, and the other, the final, is Garreg Ddu, a completely submerged dam below the water. It holds back water on the upstream side so that it can always be extracted at the Foyle Tower. It also serves a dual role in providing a roadway to the neighbouring valley of the River Caerwen. Meanwhile, as the sun sets over the lodge, this part of Wales is also pretty special for stargazers. With just 10% of us in the UK able to see the true wonders of a dark sky at night, you'll struggle to find anywhere with better clarity in the country. The area is also officially a dark sky park. Bore da, good morning. So that's it, my final day in mid-Wales. I've checked out from the lodge and I've come along to find a mountain. Now it's the highest point between, well, Penyban in the Brecon Beacons and Cadair Idris in Snowdonia. And it's a mountain I've never climbed before. So let's go check it out. Now there are no clear signposted routes to the top, but I'm setting off from Eisteddfa Gyrrig. Passing through the farm itself, you'll exit through the gate, which continues along the disused mine track and following the stream up the mountain. As the track bears to the right at the top, head left up the faint ridge past a series of old waymarker points, difficult to find in the snow. Before eventually ascending to the triangulation point at the very top. Well, at 752 metres, Pumlumon Fawr is the highest point in the Cambrian Mountains and offers some pretty picturesque views over mid-Wales. They reckon on a clear day like today, you can just about make out all the major peaks, and there's some pretty impressive views of the Nant y Gro Reservoir behind me. The views are simply incredible, and unlike many other well-known peaks in Wales, you'll struggle to find any other walkers on the mountain to share these impressive views with. As always, if you've enjoyed my weekend away in mid-Wales, hit that subscribe button for more adventures, and why not comment below with your suggestions of where to go next.